Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is me, Mysterious Cameraman, and today I'm talking about Nightwing Rebirth and doing a scene-by-scene breakdown. Sorry for the quick little thing at the beginning. That was me watching The Flash Season 9, Episode 4. I'm doing The Flash Season 9 currently, rewatching all the seasons. I don't know if this is releasing before or after the 9 review, but that's just what I was watching. I'm trying to finish it. 6 days left to do this, so, you know. I'm going to be doing a scene-by-scene breakdown, and before we get into it, I think you've all seen mine to this point, so besides, I think if you haven't already seen the official trailer for my own fan film, Captain America: The Taskmaster Trials, that's on my channel now, and let's get into the video. Okay, so the film opens up with this really cool scene with Rose going to get this thing, and basically the heroes intercepting it. I don't know if these heroes are the Teen Titans or not, so I'm just going to say the heroes. Because, again, I don't actually know what they are. They don't really classify as anything. They kind of just classify as people. So I'm just going to assume they're heroes. The Teen Titans, so I'm not going to say they're the Titans. But basically what happens is we first see Nightwing in I don't know the name of the actor, but the person who plays Nightwing in the Robin suit. And the suits in this film really are outstanding. And I'm going to get to that in, directing later in the 6 points, because that's technically where that falls. But it is such a great suit. I don't know how to describe why it's just such a good suit. It just looks outstanding on him. And with, the short hair and all, it looks great. I think, Susanna, is that her name? I'm gonna actually look. I think it might be in the script. I hope it's in. Dang it, it's not. I think her name's, Susanna. It's something of that nature. So I'm just quickly checking because I don't want to keep pronouncing it wrong. Zatanna. Dang it, I was, very close. But we first see Zatanna's, and Zatanna's suit's cool. And they basically Zatanna uses her weird powers and chokes them, which is borderline murder. And then all the heroes go off to fight Rose. So they have this really cool... Rose, I think, looks good. I think Rose does look good. And they go into this little, thing, and you see all of them. And the editing in this first fight is absolutely insane. The shock waves whenever he hits, I think all the editing in this is kind of, cheesy in a way. But it's, good cheesy. It's not, big, bland... It's not, big in-your-face effects. But, they kind of are, and it's, good. It works. There's some fan films that things like this wouldn't work, but it works this time. He does, a slam down, and it makes a shockwave, and he hits the ground. And I think the static effects, I believe there's effects for, the guy in the blue and yellow jacket. Yeah, the lightning effects are cool. And then we get I think the hand-to-hand combat in this is really good. I think in most fight scenes it looks good, especially in this one. I think all of the cinematography in this fight scene is really good. And then they meet Rose, and Rose goes outside. Well, first they also have the Wolverine dude, which, again, is another awesome-looking fight. And then they go outside, and she blows herself up. Or that's how it's perceived. And I think it looks really good. Then we get this scene with, Oliver Queen, but, Black Canaries, I think who that person is. And they find it out, but, it really doesn't lead to anything. But then they're in Titan Tower, and they get these nice moments. I'll admit, they have some nice moments here. Between Zatanna and Dick. I think this is Dick Grayson. I actually don't know. I'm just going to call him Nightwing. But the Nightwing and Zatanna talk, and then they go to... Then there's this nice scene. I do like them spending time together. I really do like... Zatanna and Dick have very good chemistry. I don't even know if it's Dick Grayson. Because there's 4. There's, Tim Drake, Dick Grayson, Damian Wayne, and then there's another one. But I don't know which one it is, but it's one. So we got a few scenes of them together, and then there's one scene where Zatanna's trying to get, oh my god, Nightwing out of the like superhero-y stuff, and I completely get this idea. It's done a lot, and I think it's done well in this one, though. I don't feel like it's done, like, annoying. I think it's done well. And then Zatanna gets murdered in a very good fight, in a good scene. I think the suit of the guy who kills Zatanna, I don't even know his name. I completely forgot. Suit's amazing. Really is. And I love this death scene. And then we get, like, I think a solid 10-minute funeral scene. It has to be, like, 10 minutes. I'm gonna look. Yeah, it's like a 10-minute funeral scene. But there's this really nice, it's a really good scene. Wait, is that Barbara? I just realized I think Barbara's at the funeral. I had not noticed that before. I might be wrong, though. I might be hallucinating. But they all go, and then there's a scene with Nightwing, and they kind of just stand there for, like, a minute. And Bruce talks with one of the Robins. And then we get this really good shot of him throwing the flower on the grave. Then we get opening credits. And I think the opening credits do tell a good backstory. The little flashback sequences, it's not much, but it does further the plot in a very small way, but it works. And I do like the opening credit sequence. And then we get the scene of him in Bloodhaven and them having, like, a detective job. And they find the guy and chase him down, and they have this big, long fight scene. And, again, hand-to-hand in this looks absolutely awesome. Like, the fight scenes in this look really good. Like, everything looks just really, like, painful and, like, yeah. Really good. And then they go to a bar. There's a lot of fight scenes in this, but I do like it. They go to a bar, and he starts getting harassed, and then he's, like, set up before Barbara comes and then completely destroys everyone. And I do like it. I think it definitely works. Sorry. And I think it works for the plot, and I do like it. And then Barbara's trying to get Nightwing to, become Robin again. And once he finds out the stakes, he says, fine, I'll do it. And goes to Wayne Manor. And I do like Alfred in this. I believe that is Damian Wayne, who is the other the Robin, who's in a lot of the film. I believe that's Damian Wayne. If I'm wrong, I probably am. Whatever. They have these nice scenes. He sees the suits again. And I do like Nightwing kind of readapting to this life. I think it's done very well. But he gets adapted and stuff. And they get these nice scenes with them, like, planning out this huge, like, thing and stuff with Bane and things like that. And then they go to rescue these this gang, this, like, group of kids. And then they rescue them. And I was wrong. This is the part with Victor Zsasz. So then Barbara and Nightwing go see Victor Zsasz. And they have this really good scene where they're, like, pretending to be dating, going on a date for this Valentine's Day theme thing. And then they go try to figure out where Bane is. And I really like it. It's, like, cliche, but it works. And then they meet Victor, and they get in their suits. And I think the Batgirl suit's the one suit they kind of, like, didn't do justice. I love every suit in this besides the Batgirl one. I feel like the Batgirl one is not perfect. But, long story short, they meet Bane. They have this really long fight scene. And eventually, they find Bane. And Bane completely destroys them. And I love this. I think it's a perfect thing that Bane just destroys all of them. And it's done very well. And then Nightwing wakes up back at the base. And he's, like, completely beat up and stuff. And they have this long talk with Alfred. And he goes to the island. And I do like the scenes on the island. Because I really like seeing Nightwing train. And before we get into that, there's a scene with Bruce and the villains and stuff. I think it's decent. I think the plot with Bruce is decent, but it's not perfect. Then we see Nightwing training on the island, him doing all these things. And then I really like the part where he hallucinates Zatanna. And then Zatanna goes away. I really like that. I think it's, like, good. And yeah, it shows his pain. And then there's a fun scene where the Robins are fighting, but in this like dojo area, but Barbara needs Nightwing, but they don't realize. So they're like, but they don't like. It's just a fun scene, and they're like, stop, and it's like cliche, but like it works. And then Nightwing sees a message from Bruce, and he realizes that he's the Nightwing. And I'll admit, the reveal of the suit's good. And then we get to see this part where Barbara's fighting Bane, and I feel like the Batgirl suit just doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. And I feel like it could work. However, in my opinion, the suit just doesn't work. And I know a lot of people are going to say otherwise. However, in my opinion, it's the one suit that's not done justice. But long story short, Nightwing enters. Yay! And the suit looks awesome. In my opinion, it's the second best suit in the film, because the original Robin suit that he wears is absolutely perfect. But they have this fight against Bane, and Bane loses, and then Weird Girl comes in with Bruce, and it's round 2, because this is really a 3-round fight. Like, the second wave enters, and then they have this nice fight, and Bruce, like, beats Nightwing, and then before shooting him, he comes to his senses, and then doesn't do anything. And then they lose. And then the third and final villain, the final wave enters with Rose and the guy who killed Zatanna. And I do like the fact that Rose is alive. I do really like it. And then I don't get why they couldn't just show who he is. It doesn't really matter who he is. But basically they fight, and it's a big fight. And I do like both suits. So it's like a good-looking fight. And then before he's gonna kill the villain says like the cliche stuff, and then Nightwing doesn't kill him. And then all three of them go away. And they have this scene where basically they're like, Barbara and Nightwing are walking, and they run into this girl, and it's clear that they're like in love, because they drop the flower and stuff, and I don't really get it. But then Barbara and Nightwing then immediately after kiss, which is another weird thing. And then I do like how it ends, like, performing what? And then it just cuts the credits. I do like it. And I do like the ending. But that's not the ending. There's still a 5-minute post-credit scene. It's a long credit scene. But Nightwing goes and founds the Teen Titans. And we have this really fun... Oh, man, it's a fun ending scene. Where we see Harley Quinn, for some reason. And this fight scene's clearly going to use again. But, like... there's some awesome scenes with like there's Raven, there's Pink Hair Girl. I've never seen the Teen Titans show, so I'm like, I know some things. I'm more of a Marvel guy, but I know a lot of DC stuff. I love Arrow and Flash, particularly Flash, but still. The Nightwing suit looks way better. Raven looks good. Pink Hair looks fine. And then it cuts to credits and then Nightwing will return in Red Hood Resurgence, which I never reviewed actually. That was on a separate channel. I actually never seen him, just kind of like scrolling through to see if there's anything to talk about. It's a shortish fan film, but the Nightwing peoples do come in. It does not look nearly like as good as the other one, but it's still good. Okay. Overall 6 points. Directing. I would say this fan film's directed awesome. I think there's so many great shots, and that plays into the choreography, but that's later. But so many great shots, and the costumes look amazing. I'd say this is like 11 out of 10 directing. Editing in this, I'd say this is probably the weakest category. I'd say the editing is maybe like an 8 or a 7. It's probably like an 8 out of 10. But like it's an 8, and that's like the worst category. I think that's still it's still good editing. It's just not perfect. Acting, I'd say the acting is also like a 10. Everyone's doing a great job. Nightwing's great. Barbara's great. The villains are all great. I think everyone really does a great job in this. Yeah. The story in this is the best part. I love the story. I think the early part kind of drags on a bit, But I think it also makes us feel for Zatanna's death. It's not just Nightwing feeling. It's also us. We also are supposed to feel for Zatanna dying. And I do think that's a bold move for them to go for. But I think it works. I think it's risky to go for, like, to do that type of thing. Like, you have to feel for that death, but it works, and it is 100% a risky move. I'm not gonna lie about it. It is something very risky that they did, but I'm happy they did it though. I think it is better because they did it, and I think if they didn't do it, it'd actually be worse. And I know that kind of sounds weird. Like, how could it be worse if they didn't do it? But, like, if you understand what I'm saying, you, like, kind of just get it. Like, it really just, it, as much as if it didn't feel like it was such a, okay, how do I explain this? It did not feel like a long time that, like, we were following the story of, like, the prologue before the actual story begins with Zatanna and stuff. That did not feel like so long. I think if it did not work, then that could be an issue. However, it worked, and I'm very happy it did. And then I really like how the story continues on, but I can't really talk so much about story because I already just did for an hour and a half. Not an hour and a half. The film's an hour and a half, like 10, 15 minutes, however long this is. Talking about choreography in this is one of the strongest points. Every hand-to-hand fight looks great, and every non-hand-to-hand, which are very rare, are still very good. I think in hand-to-hand combat, they really exceed at, and it looks very good, especially when there aren't effects. I think when you can really see what they're doing, especially earlier in the film, looks very good. Finally, music in this is amazing. Besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already seen the official trailer for my own fan film, Captain America the Taskmaster Trials, it's on my channel now. And besides that, thank you so much for watching this video. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.